Jim's back.
Hey, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay,
Can-
that's good.
I guess you can hear me.
That sounds like it.
And maybe we can hear Frank.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Mhm.
We have to run through the sound check.
Sound check.
Sound check.
As exotic as this system is, it's funny. It's kind of funny.
You know, another thing that I've been looking at lately, because I can't get the ribbon, I can't get the plastic for my 3D printer. I still got that XYZ printer. So I've been looking at 3D printers, and you have the ones that are just cost a fortune, and then you have the ones that are very cheap. And you know, there's a lot of suspicion in me. You know, if
Which ones are you looking at?
oh god, well, you know, the PC Mag, they had the 10 that they recommended, and there's Maker. What is it?
MakerBot?
MakerBot. Those are expensive.
They're expensive.
Yeah.
Ray has a MakerBot. Ray likes it.
Ray's
I
got-
wouldn't buy a MakerBot. He's got one of the dual extruders. It's expensive. Do you want a single extruder or dual?
At this point, you know, when I got the XYZ, it had a dual, but you can really use it anyway. But you know, a single is okay. You know, just something that would make sense, and
Well,
you know, not $1,000. You know, maybe $700-800, maybe. I don't know. If I
you
could
don't
get
even
one-
need to spend that much for a decent 3D printer anymore.
He needs to talk to his son into getting one for him. He sounded
Well,
like
you know, actually, I could, but I would feel bad having this
yeah,
$1,000.
I don't know.
It was
That-
her
bad.
friend.
You get a $700, $800 one. How could you feel bad about that? You know?
These Creoles,
Yeah.
the Ender 3s, the Ender 3 Pros, don't get an Ender 3. Get one of the Pro ones. They're rated pretty high among the lower cost printers. And you can see it's $200
This is at Micro Center.
at Micro Center. They are, I believe that these are i3 Purser i3 clones, which the i3 is, or the Pursers are like the $700, $800 printers.
Mhm.
And these are clones of that. But this particular brand makes a really good clone. They've got just the Ender, the version 2. It's actually more expensive. And they had, let's see, if you want to go dual extruder, the Flash Forge is pretty good. I've got one of the Flash Forge clones, and I've used the dual extruder part like 3 times, and it wasn't worth what I paid for it. But I didn't pay that much for it. I paid like $500 for it because I only used it a couple of times. I only used the dual extruding part of it a couple of times, so it wasn't worth it.
Oh, look here, Mike's here. Hey, Mike.
I've got a Monoprice. It's an i3 clone. I've got 2 of those, and those are really, really good printers. But I bought the open boxed models for like $150 a piece or less. It was less than that a piece. And those
Where'd
are really good printers.
Where did you get them from?
Micro Center.
Oh, okay.
But I bought the open box ones because I didn't want to spend $400 wanted to spend less than that, and they, you know, the mono price ones are the Micro Center brand, but they're clones, and they're basically clones of that thing. So that's my opinion. This is probably one of the best low cost 3D printers on the market right now.
Does it come assembled?
Um,
No, that's okay. It's not a big deal.
it comes, mine came mostly assembled. You have to put, what did I have to do? I had to put the cables on. I had to attach this thing, I think. It was mostly assembled. So yes, it comes with low entry to needing tools or whatever to put it together. I think it even came with the hex head screws that or the hex head bolt wrench thing that you needed to tighten everything up with.
What kind of software will work with it?
I use Cura for the slicer. And that's,
Is the software decent?
yeah, I was just going to see if I could start it. Lots of features to it. It's 4.8. Yep, that's the one I've got. You can add a lot of different printers into it. That's the one that my printer recommended using. And then when I got the FlashForge clone, I had to download the FlashForge software for it.
Well, the price looks right. The price looks,
Yeah, that
the price is right. Does it, I mean, these things all print slow, but this one print half speed, or is that the deal?
I can go, like if I want something fast,
Mm-hmm.
I can go to like either the draft or the extra fast. If I try to do coarse or extra coarse,
Mm-hmm.
my printer freaks out. So extra fast usually works. But it's got a ton of different things I can change in here, like the speed. If I want it to go a little faster, I can change that. If I wanted to add supports or change even the build plate.
How wide is the?
I think it's 120 millimeters.
How high?
I would have to check. I'm not sure. It's high enough.
Does it give you as much space as the XYZ?
Yeah. Yeah. This one here, the mono price mini Delta was not officially supported. There's a way to go onto the back end into the software side and add printers to it that aren't officially supported. So you see it changed the build plate because it's a Delta printer, and it changed a few things inside the profile for that. So it's really good software. And I've got the Plus and the Duplicator i3, which essentially are basically the same printer. The Plus is a little bit better but that's the software I use. Lots of different things you can change in there.
I remember at one time you had a scanner too, right?
I tried to build a scanner. It didn't quite work.
Do any of those work these days? I mean, what have you heard?
I don't know much about the scanners anymore because I gave up that idea.
Hmm.
That was it sounded like a good idea and turned out it wasn't all that fun.
Well, it kind of sounds like it could save time, but I guess that usually doesn't work out anyway.
Art's gonna try a different computer, he said.
Art still,
Try a Windows computer.
Hey, there it is.
So can you hear me?
hey,
We hear you.
we hear you. We don't see you.
Oh,
Oh, you don't see me because I don't have a camera. I went to a different computer. Okay.
Okay.
this is much
Windows
better.
computer?
No, I'm different. This is one I haven't been. The problem is caused by I've spent the last week experimenting with the SDR dongle. I finally got it working, but I had to get it working by going to a different desktop. Normally I use XFCE. I tried GNOME and that worked, but it was unstable. And then I went to Mate and that's stable. But in the meantime, I must have screwed up my configuration for Zoom. And what I did just now on this other computer that's 90 degrees to the original computer is I installed the latest Zoom. So it may be that when was the latest Zoom
It had
released?
it had to have been within the week because there wasn't an update last week. So
Okay, so I may have to do that on my other workstation. In the meantime, I don't have a camera I can easily plug into this one, so I have to remedy that by next week. But in the meantime, my tale of woe has been with respect to getting Cubic SDR working, and it now works fine. But it is on some desktops, for some reason or others, it's unstable, and I have no clue why.
that is interesting. I
You know,
I would not have thought
Barry.
that. Yeah.
Pardon?
That's how you look a lot like Barry these days.
Yeah, well, all I got to do now is get a pseudonym, and let me see if I can pop up the camera on the other machine now. I've got sound on this one, so let me go over and zoom in
like
on.
I did a couple weeks ago.
Just a moment.
Good to see you, Frank. It's been a
He's a
while.
motion detection device.
Yeah, I was out of it for a while.
Oh, how so?
Well, I had this pinched nerve in my back, and I can hardly move. You know, I couldn't type. I couldn't do anything.
Oh, wow. That's
Man.
serious.
We can start talking about the geezers
Yeah,
now. The
yeah.
geezers start whining about their physical
Yeah.
ailments. And I had a stroke, you know.
Have problems with the knees. You know, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, had a stroke and COVID-19 and other things at the same time.
But you're doing much better now.
Yeah, I had both the shots now too. So tomorrow, I have to go all the way to Lima. My wife's getting her second. We went to Lima for the first one. Now, most people don't believe that, or they say you ought to be able to do better, but that one opened up and it worked, and we took it.
Okay. That's where Fair Radio Sales is. You're gonna have to go by there. Huh?
What's there?
Fair Radio Sales. They still open, Leroy?
I don't know. I'm Googling.
That's a Army surplus. Fair Radio Sales in Lima,
In
Ohio.
Lima?
They were used to sell surplus Army equipment.
Apparently they are still open. They have a website at least.
They can buy you a KWM2 up there.
Wow.
I try to get up there and get out quick. You know, the thing about that store is you have to have an appointment. But when we went in there, they had two people giving shots and both of them were doing nothing.
Huh. I was crabbing because we had to go to Lebanon for our second.
Yeah, I've got mine scheduled next week, and it's I have to go downtown over the Rhine.
Well, that's not far.
Yeah, no, there's nice places to eat while I'm down there too.
Yeah. Yeah, we were trying everything. Yes.
I was just sort of
website and
Oh no, Art's got his camera working too. Now we had to look at him and listen to him. Man, this is
I was
worse
just
than
kind of
Derek.
laughing. I was laughing that you said that Lima was far away. It's only like 100 miles.
It's 106 miles from my house.
Wow.
It's a good drive though.
Oh, he's looking at us. Straighten up, everybody.
So can you
Yeah, we can hear you.
you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm on computer B with my headset, and you're looking at the side of my head from the camera on computer A. So but the difference between computer A and computer B is I have installed the latest version of Zoom. So maybe that's the problem. I don't know. In any case, I have spent more time learning about SDRs the last week than I really
So you picking up
anticipated.
handband stuff on there? You're listening to 40-meter shortwave, single sideband?
Actually, what I've been listening to is the tower at Lunken Airport. And I've also listening to NOAA, which is the weather station. And I'm listening to the one that's in Coventry.
He's hooked.
Coventry? I'm sorry?
You're hooked. You're going to start scanning around the band all over the place now.
Well, I haven't had much luck with HF, with ham HF.
Yeah.
And my only conclusion is there's not much on, because I've scanned up and down everything from 160 to 10, and there doesn't appear to be an awful lot on. When I go to the websdr.com, there's a lot of stuff in Europe, but there's not much stuff in the United States. And by the way, let me see if I can show you my antenna without screwing things up, which I seem to have been doing. I don't know.
Okay.
Can you see it? See it up there on the wall?
Yeah.
It's a little whip antenna I've got on the wall up there. So, at any rate,
That
It's
is
been an
that is the biggest drawback is with any HF you need a decent antenna.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't have any problem picking up either NOAA or
right.
Lunken. Of course, Lunken is where we're located here is about 5 to 7 miles southwest of here, I guess. It's almost it's west southwest. And I can tell you that I know this because my house sits right under final going into Lunkin, because those guys going over the top of the hill where I sit here, they got their wheels down, and the wheels are down and the flaps are down, and some of the big guys go over late at night and they're really, really, really low. So we're not very far out.
I've Middletown Airport, which I'm pretty close to, but still, I don't know, probably a half mile maybe. But they've got a very, very, very low powered automated weather station that the antenna is pointed up.
Yeah.
And it's an AM station, and it's pointed up so that the planes can hear it.
Yeah.
And I can pick it up with no real problem. It's you could tell it's real low power, but
yeah,
I can pick it up where I'm sitting. And I have a hard time picking it up when I'm sitting next to it. So
yeah.
You can see that, Art? Can you see
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
Art?
yeah. You're that 99.56. What is that, Dayton?
That's 9.956. That's a broadcast station. I scanned it and found that.
Mm-hmm.
It's 45 dB with a signal to noise ratio of 18.
Yeah, that's pretty. Yeah.
Fancy radio, huh?
How far away is that station? Do you know?
It's short wave, so it's going to be long.
Well, short wave. That's right in the middle of the FM band.
9.9.
Oh, 9.9, not 99.9.
Yeah, I wanted you to find you a shortwave station you could find that's strong. That's a broadcast shortwave, and he's got a strong signal, strong. 45 S units, 45 dB, that's strong.
Yeah, no, I understand. Okay, I didn't understand what the frequency you were saying was. I thought it was 99.5. It's 9.5.
Yeah.
So 9.5 is what? That's a little above the 7-meter band, because 7 meters is or 40-meter band is 7 megahertz. So that would be 30. That's the 30-meter band.
Okay.
Right?
You say so.
No, that's a 30-meter band. Basically, 300 divided by 30 is approximately 10. So that's a 30-meter band. But I haven't had much success in finding ham stations around here.
You'll have to wait for the right time. 80 meters is probably open a little bit. 75 40 will probably open a little later. A little early for 40.
Yeah.
But the best thing to do is find the broadcast stations first. That's a sanity check.
Well, I've done a lot of FM stations. They come through pretty strong, and I've gotten stations from Dayton and up in that area, and also going down into Kentucky quite a ways. So, but those, I assume they're running multi-kilowatts on those FM stations.
Oh yeah, and the antennas are high and they're directional and everything.
Oh yeah. So, but the NOAA I've had no problem with, and the weather station out of Lunkin I've had no problem with. The final approach out of Lunkin I've had no problem with. And the advantage of using Lunkin as opposed to, say, one of the smaller airports around here is that they really run 24/7.
yeah, Lunkin's
and I pick up a little bit out of CVG, but not much. But CVG is quite a ways away from me here.
Yeah, I can get Dayton with mine, and my antenna is in a worse spot than yours is. So,
Oh, really?
yeah.
Hard to imagine that. It's much worse than mine. Mine's stuck on the wall up here.
Yeah, mine's not even stuck on a wall. I actually had it up on a vent for a while, but it fell down. So
Okay. You were using the vents, the ductwork as an antenna?
I was using the vent as a ground,
Oh, okay.
but I'm not even sure that the vents were grounded or are grounded in this house. But that's what I was going with. That's
Well,
why
I'll
I
tell
was
you how
trying.
you tell. You measure the voltage difference between the ground side on your 3-prong outlet and the vent. You might want to use rubber gloves when you do that, but
Yeah, I could probably do that.
yeah, you just use a suicide cord and go up there. And
No. I was just going with I've seen people use cookie sheets for ground planes and all kinds of stuff. So I was just going with something that was close and handy, and it wasn't as close or handy as it could have been.
well, when I first set up the SDR here, I was using the top of a tower, of a computer tower.
Mm-hmm.
That's I don't know, that's about what, 8 or 9 inches wide and about 18 inches long, something like that. But now I don't have ground plane at all. I mean, I'm just stuck to the wall there, and that's sheetrock, and that's certainly not a ground plane. But at any rate, boy, I've spent a lot of time learning to use. And I'll tell you something. I looked up, tried to troubleshoot this on Google, and the guy who is the current most active contributor to the GitHub for Cubic SDR has a little attitude problem. His basic attitude is, if there's something wrong with you're using this software, it's because you misinstalled it or your hardware is screwed up. So don't bother me, go fix it. So, you know, real nice attitude there, but you know,
It's not my problem. It's your problem. Go fix.
Yeah, right. It's that problem with you know, not my problem, he did it kind of thing. So
Operator problem.
yeah, right. Yes, it must be an operator error. So
Leroy probably knows about that. In the military, you know, you have a problem, it's an operator problem.
yeah,
There's no problem.
yeah. Problem can't possibly be the hardware or the software or whatever.
Or me, the technician.
Yeah.
Well, I know. What was it? What was I was doing something, and I released the software out to the world, and then I got bombarded with a ton of questions about it, and I kind of got tired. I was kind of like, I have answered all these questions, and I have put all the links to all the answers. Now you go and read the answers, and if you still can't figure it out, it's not my fault.
Yeah.
Well,
go ahead.
No, this was my sons when they were in high school. They had a website, and you know, so they were real proud of it. And then people started complaining about, I'm not getting email, and you know, and your user interface is messed up, and you know, so you're doing something for free, and people are complaining. You still have to do your homework. You know? So they ended up giving it up because people were whining.
Well, that was basically this software that I wrote. I mean, I helped some people like right at the start, and then I started writing down everything that was wrong, and all the questions and everything, and made this whole big list. And then I was still getting bombarded, and I just kind of said, okay, I'm walking away from the software. If anybody wants to deal with it, it's all you.
Was it open source?
Yeah, I mean, I had released it so that everybody could use it, and I didn't really think anybody would use it. And it was that sort of situation. I figured I was the only nutball that wanted to do whatever it was I was doing, and turned out there were quite a few people wanted to do what I was doing. So this was probably, God, it had to have been like 20 years ago, and it was one of the first things that I actually programmed from, like, I had walked away from programming for a long time, and I came back to it, and it was like I was learning, and I was just reading off the internet on how to do some of this stuff, and I was learning myself. So I didn't really have all the answers in the first place. I just was like, well, I figured it out. Why can't you guys?
Yeah. It's all a matter of effort, though. I mean, I have got to tell you, I really dissected cubic SDR over the last week. I mean, I've done everything but decompile it to, and I've gone into all the supporting config files. And the good news is they're all in text, so you can basically just read, and they're moderately well documented. Moderately well, meaning they're not written. Well, they're not written in Chinese, so I'll put it that way. Okay.
It's better than some and worse than others.
Yes, but it's been an interesting learning process. So the bottom line message that I come up with is this NoElec SDR dongle is, let me see if I can reach it up where it shows with the camera here. Well, maybe not.
Kind of.
Maybe not. It's the one that I had last week, okay? Yeah. Is working fine. And by the way, it gets hot, but it doesn't get so hot that it'll burn you. I mean, it gets warm enough that it would be uncomfortable to hang on to it for 5 minutes, but it's not going to raise a blister or anything like that. So
that's kind of how mine feels. I don't want to hold on to it, but I can take it out. I could take it, unplug it, and drop it onto the desk and leave it alone.
Yeah.
Cool off.
Well, the nice thing about this one is that it's an aluminum case, so it's got a pretty good heat sink on it. But in any case, it's working fine. There's no problem with it. I have been able to listen to FM stations. I've been able to hear the NOAA stations. I've been able to hear all of the Lunken stations. By the way, the Lunken stations specifically are all AM.
Yep.
And apparently that's true of all
aircraft
approach and all aircraft stuff. It's all AM. And I was reading something that they do that intentionally because that dies off in terms of listening ability faster than the FM. That way you don't get interference between airports that are close together and so forth and so on. So it's been an interesting learning experience. Oh, I see you've got your whip antenna there. Yes. Yeah, that's similar to the one I've got up on the wall. Got a magnetic base on it?
Yeah, it's not very good magnetic base, but it does have a magnetic base. You weren't really around that one of those SDRs that I told you I did not like. I'm using it. I'm using it on the Raspberry Pi for the aircraft tracking.
Yeah.
And it works
Yeah.
really well for that.
Now, I haven't figured out yet how to scan with Cubic SDR. I assume there's a way to do it, but I haven't figured out how to do it yet.
You know, I honestly don't know the answer to that. That cheap
Yeah.
SDR plugged into a Raspberry Pi. And then you get stuff like that being dumped out.
Now, what software are you using? What SDR software are you using?
It's called Dump 1090.
Dump 1090.
It's specifically, yeah, it's specifically meant for tracking the aircraft. These
Is
are
it
all
specifically meant for Raspbian, or is it specifically meant just for Linux?
I think it's just a Linux build, but these are all flight numbers.
Okay, so it's dump
right here.
1090.
Yeah. Go to the website, go to the forums on the club website, and there's a guide to how to do
installing it.
Yep.
I assume it's not in the repository.
It is. I guess I could clone it, but it is in its own GitHub repository right now.
Okay.
So, but there's a guide right here. There's a guide that tells. And last week or the week before, Jim I think he put that same guide in the newsletter that he sent out.
Okay.
But
I will. So the dump 1090, and that's specifically for aircraft.
Yep. So you get your flight number, you get the altitude, you get their speed, which I'm assuming is knots. I don't know. Their heading, their latitude and
nautical miles
longitude.
per hour.
Yeah. And some just generic stuff that you need. But you can look these numbers up on flightaware.com. So FDX 1710. So we could look FDX 17. And we can see that it is a FedEx flight heading from Memphis, Tennessee to New York. And it is right now.
I was just about passing over where you are there.
I would say it's actually probably closer to Dayton, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's 35.
But it's in it's in that neighborhood is the point.
Yeah. See, this is the 275 loop, and this is 70. And so Middletown would probably be up where in here somewhere. This is 75. Yeah, this is 75 and that's 71. So Middletown would probably be up in here somewhere.
And the antenna you have on that is just a whip antenna?
It's just this little crappy antenna. It's not even, it's just sitting on my desk right now. But this plane is 35,000 feet in the air too. So
yeah.
That's in your meeting announcement and in the news.
Okay, I will take a look.
So it's kind of neat. It's kind of neat. And we are down to 28 seconds, guys.
Okay.
Wow.
Yep.
20 seconds. I guess it's time to say bye to everybody.
Bye-bye.
See everybody
next
week. Oh. Megatron theory. Gotta have it.
There it is.
There it is.